When it comes to spending big money on bike kit, then Rukka have got you covered. It's uber premium and built to be bomb-proof. But which one do you go for? Rukka's Nivala 2.0 or their Kingsley? I'm Tom from Infinity Motorcycles. Let's get into it. At the very top of the range sits the Kingsley, £1,500 worth of finished fabric to wrap the rider in the very best protection against bad weather over many thousands of miles. Now for £200 less though, you can get the Nivala 2.0. At a glance, it's quite similar, just with some slightly different splashes of colour. But what actually separates them? Is there more than meets the eye? Is the Kingsley just an easy upsell? We're going to break down the differences and the similarities in this video. So let's start with what's the same then. Starting at the highest point, and the collars feature a neoprene material around the top with a corduroy-ish fabric sitting below it. It's a really comfortable touch point against the skin and it isn't irritating the neck. I personally found it sits about right on the neck, not too high or too low. It's closed with Velcro, and when you open it, you can park the loose strap with this extra bit of Velcro here so it doesn't get stuck in your beard, if you're blessed with such a thing. Tucked away in both of the collars is a handy storm flap, which gives you another waterproof area to fortify the neck. Now these used to just be zipped in, but Rukka moved away and started stitching them in because people kept losing them and they were really difficult to replace. So stitch them in removes the problem. And I don't think it adds any noticeable bulk to the collar when stowed away either. Interestingly, on both jackets, Rukka have completely done away with the old lockout zip. That was a waterproof zip that was designed to lock out the water. Great design, fantastic. The biggest downfall though was maintenance. It was quite maintenance heavy. You had to keep lubing it up so that it worked as best as it could. But I mean, who wants to be like lubing their zip up all the time anyway? So to simplify things and eliminate the late night lubrication sessions, Rukka redesigned the way they do main zips. There's a decent double flap system running the full length of the jacket, and on the second flap there's a gutter which guides away any water out the bottom of the zip. Behind these flaps sits a chunkier zip that's nice and easy to catch and do up. It's a much simpler setup, maintenance free and effective at keeping the water out. Now both jackets utilise the double cuff system, and it answers that age-old biking question. Do you put the glove under the sleeve or over the sleeve? Well, here you do both. Now you've got a triple layer barrier which is going to be virtually impossible for water to get past. It's been on previous jackets and it's a proven system that uses a zip and Velcro closure to get that perfect fit every time. Do the zip up, then cinch down with the Velcro. When you open up the jacket, you're greeted by this bright orange chest plate. This is your level 1 chest protector, and it's made by D3O. You can remove it by taking out the pocket if you find it uncomfortable, but you'll find the orange stuff throughout the rest of the jackets. And unlike the chest, it all meets CE level 2. It's also absolutely massive. Check it out here next to some more standard sized armour. The coverage is really impressive. For connecting to a pair of Rukka trousers, and that's any pair of Rukka trousers, you get a standard connection zip. But they also include this thing, a crotch strap. It goes between your legs and loops through a D-ring at the front of the jacket, and it's designed to stop the jacket from riding up when you aren't wearing trousers that either zip in or braces to hold the trousers up. It feels a little bit awkward at first, but you do kind of get used to it. And finally, for things that are the same, and that's pockets. Internally, there's a rather cavernous Napoleon pocket on the left-hand side, which also has a smaller pocket stitched into it. Now, initially that threw me off the size of the pocket when I was trying to work it out because I kept getting my finger stuck in that little pocket. So I pulled it out, had a look at it, and it all made sense. And it really is a big front pocket. And when you realise there's a smaller pocket there, it's less of a fumble and you know what you're doing. On the outside, there are 2 pockets up front with a side entry that are taller than they are deep. So my phone will fit into it, a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus with a 6.8 inch screen and a case. But it sits in there vertically, which actually is more comfortable than my current jacket where it sits horizontally. Also, importantly here, the jackets are not guaranteed waterproof, only water resistance, which you can tell by the little tags on the zips. This is because us as humans, and we do make some mistakes, we might accidentally leave the pocket open and let some water in and it ruins our stuff. So anything important goes on the inside pocket or in a waterproof backpack. Around the back, there's a side loading map pocket. It's big enough for a few extra things that won't fit elsewhere. You'll notice the zip above it here, that's actually for accessing the back protector, which you can take out for cleaning and whatnot. So the jackets do share a lot of similar things, but the way I look at it is, if you've already designed like the best way of doing something, you might as well just keep it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Those features work, they're effective, so they're gonna stay when you make a new model. Now the ventilation system is different, but it is quite similar at the same time. You get 2 exhausts flanking the back and a vent on each arm. These zips down the side are vents. On the front of the Kingsley there are 2 vertical zips behind the reflective strips, which are the vents, whereas on the Nivala it situates those main front zips at the shoulders. There isn't really much in these venting methods, to be honest, but if you wear backpacks a lot, then the shoulder system might spend most of its time held shut by the straps on the Nivala. But the Kingsley integrates a key bit of technology over the Nivala 2, and that's with something called Outlast. If you've not heard of Outlast before, it was actually designed for space exploration and uses something called a phase change material to help regulate changes in temperature. To put it simply, it will absorb heat from your body, it stores it, and then it releases that heat back to your body when you cool down. And it can do that over and over again all day long. Now we'll go over the Outlast material and actually more technologies that are used in biking kit in some later videos, so make sure you are subscribed, ring that little bell, and you'll get notified whenever we drop one of those videos. Looking at the other materials used in the constructions of each jacket, they've definitely taken a different approach, even though they both use a Gore-Tex 3-layer laminar. The OG Nivala was known for its exceptional comfort, a reputation it earned through its use of a stretch cordura. When you laminate a garment, the fabric becomes stiffer, but laminating a stretch material is really quite difficult, which is why you don't see more jackets taking this approach. And when the Nivala did it, it was a hit. Super comfortable. The thing with stretch fabric though is it has a slightly tougher time at going through the abrasion test, and it's why the Nivala 2 only meets a CE level A rating despite its enormous armour. Now this rating will suffice for most riders, but if you want to take it up a notch you can look at the Kingsley. Both jackets use a cordura for the main construction as well as an additional layer of material in the shoulders and elbows, and that's a tough fit material called Armorcore, and it's one you may be familiar with if you've owned a Rukka product in the past. Armorcore is a 700 denier cordura with every 4th thread being replaced by Kevlar. The Kingsley, however, goes one step further and adds a rubberized material called Keprotec. Now that's a 1000 denier cordura with Kevlar woven in and then a polyurethane coating applied. It's fantastically abrasion resistant, breathable, and will repel water. Now with those additional reinforcements, the Kingsley meets a CE AA rating. But surely because it's not got a stretch fabric, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? Well, not quite. Whilst the jacket does feel a little bit stiffer in the material, Rukka have added in these big accordion stretch panels at the back of the arms to build in mobility and increase the comfort. It's still a really nice jacket to wear and it doesn't feel crunchy or anything, but when you're comparing the fabrics side by side, you can tell it's built differently to the Nivala. There is also no arm adjustment on the Nivala 2, but you do get a 3-position popper on the Kingsley to cinch the bicep in when you remove the thermal liner. Again, another difference, although quite similar, is that the Kingsley gets a Down X liner, whereas the Nivala 2 gets a Down X2 liner. The main difference being the Down X2 has a matte finish and a longer cut in the body, so it sits a bit nicer when worn off the bike as a destination layer. The original Down X which you get on the Kingsley is a shorter cut. It's a little bit less noticeable when you're sat on the bike, it's not bunching or anything like that. They both are still going to pack down to a small size for easy stowing when not in use. After that, it's pretty much they're both black jackets with slightly different colour choices of reflective strips. So on the Kingsley you can have the strips in black or in silver, whereas on the Nivala 2 you can opt for black, orange or even yellow. Now if you swing round to the rear, you do get a nice big R which has made Rukka jackets instantly recognisable on the road. Except with the Nivala 2, Rukka done away with it in favour of this 2-bar design. I don't think it looks quite as impressive from the rear, but it's not a bad looking thing. It's like when you see that Nike tick on the side of a shoe, you're like, yes. The Rukka R was like the Nike swoosh, and I don't really know why they got rid of it, because it looked cool. I mean, in terms of fit, the cut of them was pretty similar, I thought. The Nivala definitely feels like a much comfier jacket. I don't know, it's just the way the material sits on you. It feels a bit more comfortable. That's not to say that the Kingsley was uncomfortable. When you're putting them on back to back and you're trying them side by side, you really do tell the difference. But actually in isolation, wearing them for a little bit longer, sort of melts away. You sort of forget about the properties of the other jacket. And that brings us to the final thing, the price. £200 separates them. But is the Kingsley really £200 better than a Nivala 2? Honestly, yeah, I think so. It's a lot of money for a jacket, but you are going to get more protection, you're getting that Outlast liner built in, and you get the big R on the back. It's going to come down to personal preference on which one suits you more, so it's probably best to try them both on side by side. But I think either way, you're going to get a fantastic jacket. And that difference in price might not be that bad, especially if you're going to take out a Klarna Finance, which we do offer in-store and online. And when you register the products, remember, you get a 6-year warranty when you register them. Anyway, have fun, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, if you like that video and you want to see me do some more comparisons, guides, etc, drop us a comment below and let me know what you would like to see. It really helps me out with making videos that people actually want to watch and will find helpful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop us a little like and a subscribe, and that tells YouTube that people like watching them, and it tells me that you like watching them. Anyway, have fun, ride safe. Bye bye.